Imagine two parades entering into Jerusalem on a spring day, just before the Passover festival. From the west, entering into the main gates of the walled city, came Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor of Idumea, Judea, and Samaria. He's leading a column of imperial cavalry and soldiers. Can you picture that procession? A visual panoply of imperial power, cavalry on horses, foot soldiers, leather armor, helmets, weapons, banners, a golden eagle mounted on a pole, sun glinting on metal and gold. Can you hear the sounds of marching feet, of creaking of leather, the clinking of bridles, the beating of drums, the swirling of dust, the eyes of silent onlookers, some curious, some awed, and some resentful. And then from the east, another parade enters into the holy city. This parade is led by a country rabbi from a peasant village in Nazareth, in Galilee, the boonies of Judea. And he comes down from Bethphage, just east of Jerusalem, the place where the prophet Zechariah foretold that the Messiah would appear. And he comes riding a donkey, enacting the words of that prophet. Rejoice greatly, O daughter Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter Jerusalem. Lo, your king comes to you triumphant, and victorious he is, humble and riding on a donkey. And they lay down their cloaks before him, enacting the ancient story of King Jehu told in the second scroll of the Kings. This peasant preacher is accompanied by a noisy band of fishermen. And they're all singing these words from the royal processional psalms. Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord, peace in heaven and glory in the highest heaven. What a ridiculous, almost comical sight, especially in light of Pilate's parade of imperial power. And perhaps this is why the religious authorities pleaded with Jesus' joyful mob in order to not attract the attention of that other parade on that other side of town. Jesus' reply, if these were silent, the stones would cry out, portends both the inevitability of the inbreaking of God's kingdom and the unavoidable antagonism of the authorities and powers of this world to the good news proclaimed by Christ. This tension between the powers of this world and the authority of Jesus' teachings will ultimately lead to his betrayal and his trial and his execution. As the refrains of "Blessed be the King" change to a chorus of "Crucify him." This Holy Week, as we prepare to journey together to the cross, we are called once more to examine our expectations and allegiances. Will we join that peasant parade, those rowdy outsiders proclaiming a kingdom that cannot be seen, where the last will be made first and the high will be made low? Or will we welcome the imperial parade that proclaims the authority of the powers of our world? Which parade will you attend?
Hi there, New Testament scholars. It's time for a 1-minute Greek lesson. Our word today is kreizo, most often translated as to exclaim or to cry out for healing or justice. In Matthew's Gospel, the word is used when the disciples cry, "Hosanna in the highest," as they enter Jerusalem. It is also the word used when they shout, "Crucify him." Luke uses kreizo to describe the cries for healing and wholeness for those that are suffering. And the Apostle Paul describes Christ in our hearts, crying, "Abba, Father." When Jesus is told to silence that rowdy crowd in Jerusalem, he proclaims, "If these are silent, the stones will cry out," professing a creation so deeply connected to its creator that it cannot help but profess the presence of God's inbreaking kingdom. With or without us, God's glory will be proclaimed, and we are called to join in this chorus.